Reading Grammy Has Lost Her Apples from the Grammy Tales, Volume Number 4. Written by Catherine Saunders. Illustrated by Kyla Shoup. One thing we like about our Grams is how she always bakes. She's constantly brewing something up, like cookies, pies, and cakes. A funny thing took place just the other day. Yet what exactly happened is kind of hard to say. We went over to Grammy's house for an afternoon of play. When we arrived and looked at her, she seemed a little afraid. "What you doing, Grams?" I asked, and gave her a little smile. She glanced towards us and replied, "Would you kids help me for a while?" "Sure." I shook my head and said to Grams, "You just tell us where to start." Grammy turned towards us with a hand upon her heart. "My darlings, I've lost my apples. They are no longer in my bin." A look of wonder spread across her face, while her finger rested on her chin. "Let's go look out on the porch." Then out the door she flew. The only thing we found out there were 3 of her mismatched shoes. Grams reached down to grab her shoes. "Catch them quick!" Then over her head they came flying. We scrambled fast to grasp the 3. "Don't worry, Grams, we're trying." Next we walked to the neighbors, who lived in a tiny white house, and there we found a note on the cage of Grammy's pet mouse. "Ms. Grammy, thank you for coming to take this beast home. While you're at it, would you please grab your garden gnomes?" Grammy was a sight, holding her things whilst looking for her apples. Then a friend she knew came on the scene. She called him Mr. Dapple. "Hello, sir," my Grammy said. "Would you please give us a hand?" He hesitated, but Grams went on. "Great! Your help will be so grand." She threw to him her garden gnomes, and he caught them on the fly. He asked, "What is going on here?" Can you guess our Grammy's reply? "Sir, I've lost my apples. Misplaced them, every one." "Have you seen them?" she asked, and whizzed past him on a run. He followed suit. When down the street we scurried. Everywhere our Grammy went, things seemed to be in a flurry. We saw the postman on our way. He hollered and waved his hand. "I have some packages for you," he said, then handed them to Grams. She in turn gave some to us and 2 to Mr. Dapple. I felt the need to inform the postman. "Grammy has lost her apples." "Oh," he said and scratched his head. "I'm sorry to hear that, dear. But there is nothing I can do to help you here, I fear." We stood at the corner, our funny-looking group, when I heard Mr. Dapple say, "I've been duped." Grammy chimed in, "No doubt, kind sir, we'll find my apples yet." Mr. Dapple quietly replied, "I think I'll take that bet." As we headed back to her house, I heard my Grammy yell, "Where is that naughty, pesky cat? I can hear her little bell." Sure enough, there sat her cat up on the neighbor's gate. I was surprised when Grammy took off in a speed of alarming rate. She spent 10 minutes trying to calm the neighbor's haughty behavior. "This cat's lucky," my Grammy said, "that we were here to save her." Walking up Grammy's front steps, she paused a moment to think. Then Mr. Dapple shouted, "You have pushed me to the brink." His face got kind of scary looking and he spun around. "Tell me where to put these things or I'll just set them on the ground." Grams explained to a fuming Mr. Dapple, "We're doing our best to find my missing apples." We promptly walked inside her house and sat down the loads we carried. Then our Grammy began to look just a little harried. She said, "I think I remember now where I might find my apples." Funny thing is, we don't think she convinced good old Mr. Dapple. Despite our doubt, we followed Grams toward her back door. In front of us, an empty bin sat there on Grammy's floor. "Oh, my stars, will you look at that? It's exactly where I left it." Down went Mr. Dapple's hand straight into his pocket. She pointed outside. "I forgot to pick them. What a silly me." There were Grammy's apples, still hanging from her tree. Now our Grammy smiled warily and acted a wee bit shy. "Would y'all like to come on in and stay a bit for a slice of apple pie?" Now, we're not exactly sure what happened on that day, but we know it's never dull while at Grammy's house we play.